Hello, this is Justice Backstrom, and welcome back to God, Guns, Gaming, and GOP. Today I'm going to be discussing the issue of civilian-perpetrated domestic massacres. Some people might assume that I prefer to it that way to avoid making the discussion just about firearms. Mass shootings are a form of civilian perpetrated domestic massacres. But the people who talk simply about mass shootings instead of civilian perpetrated domestic massacres generally are themselves biased in that choice. They know that if they address the issue at large, they wouldn't be able to use it to ban our Second Amendment rights. So let me just explain what I mean by a civilian perpetrated domestic massacre. First of all, it's civilian perpetrated. What do I mean by that? Specifically, it's not something conducted by a organized terror group, organized crime, or by a foreign military. Or, as the case may be, our own military, God forbid. What we're talking about is an individual or a couple of individuals, usually less than 3, murdering a large number of people on domestic soil. Civilian perpetrated domestic massacre. The issues that could cause someone to go to such lengths are discussed in a video on the channel Texas Morality Commission. Essentially, I explain that it's not racism, bigotry, homophobia, it's not Christianity, it's not Islam, it's not what have you. It is evil. And I explained that evil is essentially when someone gets so carried away in their own immoral appetites, they don't practice self-control. And that's where it starts with, is self-control. It starts with controlling your appetites. It starts at the individual level. It starts with you. You can't change the culture until you have made those same changes in yourself. Someone who is past the point of controlling themselves, someone who is to the point where the only thing that can get them some sick satisfaction is by murdering a bunch of random strangers. That didn't just start there. And it's not a mental illness either. Mental illness is a vague, sort of nebulous or ambiguous boogeyman that's thrown around a lot. I'm not going to say that there are no such things as mental illnesses or that they don't play a role. But to blame such a mass murder on mental illness puts aside the individual's actions, not just that action of that mass murder, but the actions and inactions leading up to it, their consistent neglect of controlling their own appetites. It does not shock me when evil breaks all precedent. Half the nature of evil is an insatiable appetite. Any vice can lead someone down that path, whether it be a violent temper or lust or some unreasonable hatred of some other race or religion or what have you. The solution to these civilian perpetrated domestic massacres, or if you insist, these mass shootings, if you insist on seeing it only through those lenses, is one, to control your own passions and lusts. Two, to encourage those in your sphere of influence to do the same. And three, all of us together building a society where self-indulgence is looked down upon, is not something that is dealt with lightly, or that is, in some cases, praised. The focus exclusively on mass shootings is to get us to a point where we ban all guns. Banning all guns may reduce most mass shootings. It certainly won't reduce mass bombings, mass stabbings, mass vehicular homicide, and it will never totally wipe out mass shootings. People who say that we need to ban all guns think that that is the only way to stop all mass shootings. They think that other plans will only stop some or most mass shootings. Even if banning all guns stopped all mass shootings, that would only be most civilian perpetrated domestic massacres. Their insistence that our refusal to ban guns changes an all to a most or a some itself only affects some or most civilian perpetrated domestic massacres. Now, why we even focus on civilian perpetrated domestic massacres is, I guess, in part because they're effective. The person, among other things, is attempting to get some shock value or notoriety. The vast majority of homicides do not come from mass shootings or other mass murders. The vast majority of homicides are single or double homicides. Yes, they don't have the shock value, and in many cases, it's gang-related or something like that. But if we look at this holistically, there's no real reason why we need to focus so specifically on mass murders as opposed to murder generally, or violence generally. That is a conversation for another day, and I have pretty much exhausted the mental notes that I took in advance of making this recording. So that is where I'm going to leave you for this video. Let me know what you think. If you have something to add or something to dispute, let me know in the comments. Considering up till now I've gotten like maybe one comment per video, I will probably read every single one of them. But with that being said, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you later. Bye.